Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 19 of the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship here live at the Blue Moon Bay Circuit. I'm your host and comments here for today's set of races, STM_RRDZ, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are embarking on another round of tight cup car action here at the Blue Moon Bay Circuit in the United States. And so we've only got 6 cars here today, but that doesn't mean the action is far from not being relevant here, because these cars are designed to be as close as possible to one another. And so with that said and done, we will go down the order the best that we can here, starting off with Actually, no, I'm sorry. We got James Head at the moment in the number 7 Mazda, who's been on a absolutely terrifying charge as of late in the standings. And at the moment, as points do stand at the moment right now, I'll see if I can get them in front of me while I got the chance. Yes, so we have James Head, who's currently second with 290 points on the board. He had a win and a second place finish last time out at the Sardinia circuit, of course, and he'll probably be looking to add to more points onto that one, of course. Next we have TGIS in the number 78 Mazda, looking to build on the recent success that he's had within the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship, getting his first win of the season at Lago Maggiore not that long ago, and he'll be looking to get some more valuable points on the board as well. Finally, and then next we have our championship leader, SLM Polymer, in the number 24, and he had another race win, but to make things worse, he had a 7th place finish last time out on the round prior to that at Sardinia. So, of course, being outscored by James Head, he did win him against him in the second race of the weekend last time out in these cup cars, but he would definitely have to try and withstand the charge from James Head, because Palmer is only sitting at 310 points, which is only about 20 points left. And at the moment, there are only about 3 race weekends left, so there's, including these, only 6 races of this championship. So not a lot left in this championship. So, and then of course the German Dude gets a very big tank slapper into the grass as the driver of the number 14 Mazda looks to build on a series of successful runs here as well in the points. And then finally we have Hair Razor in the number 6, Doug Barrow, his teammate, not here today, of course, and hopefully we get to see them on the courts on the same time soon. Right now, first of the hot laps in these Mazda Cup cars coming in, with James Head rounding the final corner now with 7 minutes to go left in the session. The number 7, he's going to be wanting to get that car up the timing sheets as high as he can. And what's the first lap going to be? It's going to be a 1:30.478. That's actually a pretty good lap if you think about it, because these cars, they're kind of close to each other. And James Head will stay on top. Elliott in second, Palmer in third, TGIS in fourth. What will Hair Razor and Durdu do? And they will respectively stay 5th and 6th, because Durdu had a massive tank slapper, so that doesn't surprise me, but he's 4 seconds off the pace in that number 14. So we'll go back up to the man on pole position, James Head, looking to build, like I said, on this momentum swing. Oh, a really big tank slapper. He just got the left rear wheel on the grass, and so he'll have to, that might have cost him a 10th or 2, or if not, he might be still on a fast lap, but it's not going to be by much, because it definitely cost him a bit of time, sliding a bit too much onto the grass right there as we speak. And so now there's Elliott in the second place, just about a 10th and a quarter, not that far off, looking behind SLM Polymer, just really trying to get that slipstream right down. If he can still stay with him, which he's going to keep the foot pounded, which is very, very good for him, of course. He'll do a good job and get a very, very good lap under this slipstream right here, which will absolutely benefit him to the max. Of course, Elliott's going to try and stay low as much as he can. Now Elliott moves up ever so slightly, and Palmer, I feel like, is going to get an absolutely good lap. James Head doesn't improve, TGIS improves, Palmer improves, but... And did Elliott even improve on that lap? No, he did not. He just provided the tow. Hairraiser improves, Dirtdude improves, but they're not improving on position-wise. Palmer, though, does improve on position and is only 38 thousandths of a second off the man on pole position, James Head. So 4/10 slower that time by for James Head. And like I said, he'll definitely be trying to get himself as much of an advantage as possible. Of course, points mean points. You don't get the points for pole position, but you do get them for fastest lap of the race. So getting that fastest lap in the race could mean something for your championship, or it might break you if you don't able to snag that at that championship point. So let's go back to Elliott behind the wheel of the 64. I think Palmer might have dived off a little bit, so I'm not sure if Palmer might have been held up that lap. So I think, oh, Palmer's gone off as a matter of fact. He went off for a little brief second. I did see it when we were live with Elliott, but he was able to correct that car and get it correctly sideways. And so what can these guys do once again with 3 minutes and 44 seconds left on the clock? It's going to be another 130, but is it an improvement? No, it is not. As a matter of fact, Palmer is going to take a gamble here. And I'm a bit curious, is he actually taking tires? This is very, very interesting for what Palmer is doing. Hairraiser and Dirtdude will improve. Dirtdude sets a new faster lap to improve on his 6th place into 5th. He does take new tires. This is a very interesting strategy from the number 24. Of course, taking new tires doesn't do much, but I think if he can only just be able to muster 39 more thousandths than what he's got, and if he can get that pole position, even if it means just a little bit of an advantage, it might come to suffice. So we will keep an eye out for this, because he's got to make another out lap and then start another flying lap, but he's really behind, and he's not going to be able to get the tow like he had on that one lap with Elliott. So we will see what happens then, obviously. James Head, let's see how this lap has been. I didn't mean to press that button. Let's see how this lap has been. It's all been white so far, so no improvements this time by. In fact, there's an improvement somewhere. A personal best Sector 1 for Dirtdude, a personal best Sector 2 for Elliott, a fastest Sector 2 of anybody for Hairraiser, so he's come alive a little bit. So we'll see what happens here. James Head doesn't improve by 91 thousandths of a second. TGIS as well is also in the pits. So this is very interesting strategy call. We'll go back to Palmer because he was the one who started the change of tires. And Hairraiser pops into 3rd, so that fastest Sector 2 time of anybody else had really helped out Hairraiser in a way, and it has got himself back up into 3rd place. Right. We'll go on board now from the driver's eye, SLM Palmer, and let's see what kind of lap he can throw down, of course. And this is going to be absolutely dicey. He's got his teammate in, absolutely tangle the car. Does he full throttle it? Here's the question. No, he lets off slightly, gets as close as he can to the wall. Because I think these track limits kind of do allow for that kind of very, very tight action towards the wall. So you can see all the traffic up ahead, Dirtdude, TGIS amongst them. So Palmer has got to keep his toes and eyes in check a little bit, just so that in case something happens, he does not have a messed up lap, of course. So no improvements this time by at the moment, but we will get some laps coming in. No improvement for the 1st place of James Head, who's well up in the pack. I believe that's Elliott, who is the 2nd car. If not Hairraiser, Elliott or Hairraiser does not improve. That 3rd car, I believe, is either Elliott or Hairraiser, not improvement for their Dirtdude. No improvement. What about Palmer or TGIS? And it's not an improvement, so this slipstream game could really be the make-or-breaker dealer for SLM Palmer, because if he's got his teammate TGIS right there, it could really help him out. TGIS, oh, he gets a bit into the wall. And TJS wisely moving out of the way, not getting in the way of his teammates, so a smart move for him, but that is going to compromise his qualifying. Look at the damage right there on the front end of that number 78, so that is going to be over for him, of course. And so now James Head well off the pace because of the last. And think about it, he didn't even have to do his lap under slipstream conditions, so he'll probably have to finish this session this time by, and qualifying will come to a close. And is it going to be an improvement for James Head this time by? It is not, so very slow couple of laps, but he was able to hold on to that pole position. Hairraiser and Elliott. Elliott, as a matter of fact, is getting a tow, so will this help him out in a way? No, he's actually had a slow lap. He's actually had a slow lap, so that's not going to help him out in any way at all. Durdude and Palmer, what can they do? No improvements. So no improvements for that final lap. James Head will inherit pole position by a mere sum 38 thousandths of a second over SLM Polymer, and it is going to provide another dicey round of action here at Blue Moon Bay in this Mazda MX5 Cup Championship. Right, only 6 cars here today, but like I said, the action is still relevant on the track. James Head in first. SLM Polymer makes it himself with first and second in the championship. First on the row, Hairraiser and Elliott make up row number 2, and then TGIS and Durdude will make up row number 3. Of course, you don't see the red lights, so we just kind of have to wait and assume when they will go. When is it going to be green flag? And it's now, so we'll quickly hop out, and then we'll come back on. James Head actually got a really good start, and everyone's just going to follow right in this train. And chugga choo choo on your way to turn number 1, ladies and gentlemen, because it's absolutely going to be dicey. Palmer is going to do anything in his power to hold on to the championship lead. Actually, he understeers just a little bit, and will this allow Hairraiser to get up in second? It does. So -1 position for Palmer and +1 position for Hairraiser. Did a very, very good job of there. Palmer once again is actually alongside him, so he's doing anything as my Elliott. Oh, big time slapper. Palmer goes a bit wide. And so he keeps that one on track, but what a scary, scary bit of action right there. Durdude and Elliott are both going to fall down to 5th and 6th, and Durdude and TGIS will also benefit from this as they get to 3rd and 4th place. And while all this is happening, this is allowing James Head to just comfortably build on his advantage here. We'll go on board now with the number 7, and look at that. Just in 1 lap alone, he's already built on at least 10 car gap between himself and the 2nd place of Hairraiser. So nothing to worry about for James Head, because this is going to absolutely help him out and give him the confidence he needs to get back into this championship hunt here. Hairraiser and TGIS still scrapping it out for 2nd place. Hairraiser doing the work. TGIS will show him the flick of the lights. Slipstream. And I think he might be pushing him, as a matter of fact, so I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. And so Durdude once again is already up and back it down into last place. Oh, TGI is going to try on the outside, but he's going to hit the wall. Oh, I think he just hit the wall pretty hard. And that's going to slow him up right back on down to P5. So TGIS, who took a lot of speed going into that turn, all of a sudden is now down into 5th place after starting the 2nd lap. Palmer and Elliott, once again, frenemies on track, if you could put it. And Elliott going to try it. He showed him the flicker of the lights, but nothing doing there as of yet. He's trying to get a little bit of pressure going for the number 24, but keep in mind the championship leader is one who is usually a bit prone to having the pressure, but lately he's been absolutely on it in this MX5 Cup Championship. And James Head from Hairraiser are once again actually near bumper to bumper, so I think Hairraiser actually finally got some good breathing air to actually get right up beside the number 7 of the Mazda, and I think there's going to be a lead change as well, because Hairraiser's going to go on the blower side, and he does take that 1st place away, but for how long is the question. James Head going to try and force it up right alongside just so close the action is for all out. And here comes SLM Palmer. Look at the speed he is carrying. So I don't think he's going to have much to do unless he's going to make it 3 wide going to turn number 1, which would be very, very ecstatic to do. He's actually going to stay alongside Hairraiser and then making the move now. How are the brakes on that number 24? James Head's going to plop down to 3rd place now. Actually, as a matter of fact, jump down to P4 at the expense of Elliott moving up into 3rd place. Oh, 3 wide. I thought I saw, yes, 3 wide. Look at this now, 3 wide. Going to turn number 2, which is absolutely astounding. Elliott goes a bit onto the grass, has to save it, does so. Oh, that was very, very hairy, but he's still going to defend that position from TGIS. And once again, Elliott goes onto the grass again. So he's absolutely cooking the tires right about now. And Durdude is going to be back up into this race, and he's going to pass Elliott no problem. At least I think. Oh, Durdude thought about it, and he's going to stay right behind these two who had an absolute scrap going at it. Of course, that one incident by Elliott in the TGIS. Of course, TGIS did report it, and of course, Stewart Action saying no further investigation for TGIS. Actually, it was reported by the 64 on the 78. And it was deemed as no further action between the two, so no results were changed between these two. And it looks like they're going to continue that scrap once again here at the Blue Moon Bay circuit. So we'll follow this battle here while these guys are going at it. And Hairraiser, who at the moment is still seeking his first win of the season. So this late in the season, Hairraiser and his teammate Doug Barrow have not won a single race at all this season. As a matter of fact, we've only had 5 different race winners this season, with TGIS becoming the newest first race winner of the season last time out, about 3 rounds ago at Lago Maggiore. So can we think about having a different race winner this time by? That would be at the hands of Hairraiser and Durdude. Oh, James Head gets a bit. Oh, is that James Head who's gone a bit wide? I think it was. And James Head doing a good job at controlling that number 7, but he is a ways away from this lead pack. Elliott is going to show him the flick of the lights to get a bit of pressure going for the number 7. He's closed up a little bit, but I don't think he's going to close up that much enough to make a move. Oh, was that a move by Palmer for the race lead? No, it was Hairraiser for a move for the race lead. Palmer getting the drive and the traction out of the corner. And he will keep that first place position. And so what I like to do on occasion is we'll take a driver and we'll go on board with them for a little bit. On this case, we'll go on board with Elliott F64, who is 4th in the race at the moment, and we'll take you on for a quick little lap here of the Mazda MX5 Cup Championships, and you guys can enjoy the sights and sounds of Blue Moon Bay for a couple laps. And so that was some of the sights and sounds at the Blue Moon Bay circuit, and I'm pretty sure I just come back, and I'm pretty sure Elliott, who's got a 3.1 second gap, so I'm not 100% sure what's happened for that race, but now all of a sudden there's at least a 4-car battle for 2nd through 5th at the moment, and Harry's, I'm pretty sure, is the only one who's not been able to benefit from that, and that actually might be the explanation for it right there as well. And that as well, so penalties for Palmer and for TGIS, so I'm not 100% sure what's happened there. I'm going to quickly go back real quickly and see what actually has just happened. So I'm going to go on the live stream now. Yeah, at the moment, we'll keep an eye out for this 4-car battle because it's actually pretty dang tense for us to keep our eyes off of. And was there any incident by any chance? Oh, James Head was very forced off wide. I'm pretty sure he lost out a significant amount as well. Elliott, I'm pretty sure, was just able to build onto that gap, so. Oh, was that a spin for Palmer too? Hang on. What was that? Hang on. Was that a spin for Palmer? Oh, yes, it was. He got very, very slow on lap 7 on the live stream. You did see on the driver's rearview mirror. Palmer's going to still serve his penalty now and still be rather alongside Durdude, which is probably thinking, Durdude's probably thinking themselves, what is going on here? I'm trying to get past this guy, but he's able to serve his penalty and still be alongside me, which is absolutely not right. And I'm pretty sure he's just trying to concede that racing room. Oh, just oh so close between these two guys. And then ever since I think I came back, it's just been absolutely, like, you know, on it for these guys. So they do have another. So does TGI serve that penalty? No, we still got 3.8 seconds. Pollard, on the other hand, is 2.3. Oh, was he forced out wide by James Head? I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll see if there's any damage to be sustained on that car. Yes, there is. So there is damage on the front end of that number 7 Mazda MX5 Cup car. And so we'll keep an eye out for this. We'll go on board now with the number 7. Because he's obviously doing the best that he can to fight up the order. And obviously try and get within championship contention. But at the moment, it's just, Elliott has pretty much just, you know, how do I try and say this without sacrificing a PG rating here? He's just pretty much just gone. He's just gone at this rate. And Durdude, I think, might be looking to build on another set of podium here today for this first round of Mazda. Sorry, yawned at the worst possible time for another string of podiums here within the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship car. And I thought I saw Palmer go extremely wide out of the exit of turn number 1. I'm not sure if he did, if that is the case, because he is on an absolute charge right now, a tenth and a half up on Elliott's fast time. Durdude goes a bit wide, as well does James Head. So these guys are really pushing the absolute crap out of these Mazdas, and they're not trying to mess around. And I guarantee you they're doing the best that they can to try and stay within close proximity striking range of these guys. Elliott, on the other hand, you see him in the distance, he's just gone. Like I said, he is just gone. Like nothing at the moment. It's just gonna happen. Yeah, I'm yawning at the worst possible times again, I swear. I drank my coffee. Actually, I had to drink another cup of coffee today. So that's probably why I'm just like, yeah. So we'll go on board now with the man, or no, not the man in the championship. There is James Head. Once again, like I said, he's still doing the best that he can to try and fight up the order, although these gaps are starting to increase a little bit between each car. So there is a line, of course, that is still showing between the 4 of these guys. And Palmer now going to do anything in the rulebook that he can to try and get past the number 14. We'll go on board with them for the time being. He's going to try and force the nose up there, but Durdude's going to chop that line right off and still keep that second place for the time being. Would this be a good finish, of course, for Durdude at the end of the day? Of course, he has not won since round number 6 at Fuji, so it's been a very, very long time coming for him in the Mazda MX5 Cup Championship, and he would absolutely love a win here today. Oh, Palmer got him on the fake. He got a bit of a run, as too did James Head. So 3 wide action, I'm pretty sure, going into turn number 1. Can James Head do a 2 for 1? And he's going to do the 2 for 1, and a wonderful overtake by the number 7. That right there is championship caliber material. But Durdude is still on the inside, or was on the outside of the number 7. What a move by Durdude for the defense. James Head, oh, he actually gets forced out wide by the number 14, but he's still onside, and he will not concede that position. What good action this is. Palmer's going to force him wide. Oh, and a crunch into the wall. Oh, and there's a bit of a contact right there once again. These guys are getting a bit scrappy with each other, but these cars will, on the slipstream right here, look at this right now, they will literally be pulled right back together under the slipstream. Also, I just realized that Durdude actually has a San Francisco 49ers logo. I did not realize that. I did not catch that. And James at the moment he's gonna show the flicker of the light, so he's not liking something up there. What does Palmer have in terms of penalties? 1.2 seconds. What does TGI have in terms of penalties? 2.2 seconds. And so, ooh, TGI is almost in the wall, as to James Head. But this is absolutely dicey stuff for all 4 of these guys. I'll be honest with you, if I was in this situation, I'd probably be in the same position as Harry's right now, P6, and away from this battle, trying to just do the absolute best they can to catch back up. James Head going a bit wide. Durdude, I think he just had to spin. A very sideways moment, I'm pretty sure. And he lost a heck of amount of time to the guys up in front. But if he can just be able to be on it, oh, as a matter of fact, I think Harry's might actually have a good chance of trying to get back within this championship. Look at the damage on the front, back, and center of that car. So I think it might have been involved in some form of incident. I'm not sure if he's had some sort of spin or an incident. Not 100% sure on that. But at the moment, Palmer has just pretty much found himself a gap. And wouldn't this be instrumental for Palmer to keep this championship gap? So if he can extend the gap a little bit between himself and James Head, that would be beneficial for himself. But James Head would be a little bit more worried about that, because James Head would be on an absolute charge the next race. And keep in mind, James Head has. We'll rack up the wins here real quickly. Palmer has 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6 wins for James Head. So Palmer and James Head both have 6 wins here in this season. So this is an absolutely dicey and monumental battle between these two. Of course, James Head's doing anything in his power and that he can to try and get within striking distance of the championship leader, but at the same time, he's got to defend against 2 other cars in the hands of TGIS and Durdude at the moment. So absolutely dicey stuff for all of these guys, and they're doing the best that they can to just get the upper hand on one another. Sorry for this squeaky chair, by the way. There's not much for me to do, unfortunately. So roughly, got about 9-ish minutes left in this race. 2.2 seconds the gap now between Palmer and James Head. Give me a second. Sorry, I had to step away for a little bit because I'm pretty sure I thought I heard my two other roommates, of course, at the moment. But back to the action here at the Mazda MX5 Cup Championship here. Oh, TGS getting a bit wide, and I think it was going to allow Durdu to try and slip his front end underneath. Nothing doing there as of yet. Hairraiser, actually, as a matter of fact, has had another incident because he went from 3 seconds to 15 seconds. The gap from 56, so he's had something go wrong in that entry. At the moment, with just over 7 minutes ago, it is still the number 64 reigning supreme at the moment. He's only had 3 wins of this season, and the last time that he's won goes all the way back to round number 4 at Suzuka. So wouldn't that be something for him to win once again within the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship, of course. SLM Palmer in second, doing anything in his can to try and get some valuable points going and some momentum going his way, of course, against the man right behind him is James Head. But TGIS doing the work and keeping him pressurized. Go on board now with the number 7 of James Head. Of course, you see that rearview mirror, TGIS not going away for any time. Oh, a very tight turning radius that James Head has to make. I like the gear shifter knob as well. We'll see this in action along the front straightaway. So he shifts it up into 3rd gear. I like that motion he does, by the way. So you'll probably see it once again going on the front stretch, like I said. Once again right there. I want to see what his foot motions do, obviously, because this game has a lot of unique characteristics about it. I want to see what he will do going into turn number 1, obviously. He actually moves the pedals as well, so that's actually pretty unique and interesting. Does he actually have a clutch pedal? I'm pretty actually. So this Mazda MX5 Cup car, you can change the gears without actually moving the clutch, which is actually quite interesting as well. So, so only you really need is the clutch to get the car moving, and just use the gear shifters just to change the gears without using that clutch. That is a thing on some vehicles within the United States. I'm not sure if it's a thing over in Great Britain, but there are some vehicles in the States that are able to change the gears without even actually using the without using the clutch. Just don't ask me how it works. Pretty much you can teach yourself something on the internet new every day. So this gap now between Palmer and James Head has actually dropped down over the past couple of laps. It's gone down from 2.2-ish the last time we saw it, down to 1.4. And so a penalty still for Palmer, so James Head is still within striking distance. As a matter of fact, he's actually getting away from the guys behind, TGIs and Durdu. So James Head finally getting a bit of clean air and breathing space between himself and TGIs, and this is allowing him to try and get close back to the guy up in front. Let's see what's been like for the last lap. 30.8. So yeah, 30.8 for Palmer and a 30.1 for James Head. So James Head at the moment is the fastest man on the track, and he's going to be absolutely livid when he gets back up. As a matter of fact, that's actually James Head's fastest lap, personal fastest lap of the race. So James Head on an absolute fly at the moment, and Palmer is nowhere even near the times that James Head is setting. As a matter of fact, James Head is going to be on an absolute charge for that 2nd place, because if he can even if it means just getting 1 position ahead of Palmer, it would mean more points going for James Head this way, and that would mean a closer championship fight going into the next round, which would be round number, it would be round number 20 of the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship. We're at round 20 now, and there'll be 5 more races left in the championship, so anything can happen, and this is where the championship is going to start coming to light. And has Durdu actually gone by for 4th place? Yes, he has. So Durdu getting back up into the 4th place position. 5th place relegated to TGIS now. But let's keep an eye on this battle for the time being, because this could make or break the championship charge for James Head. He's got about 2.5-ish minutes left to go, so I imagine this will be this lap and one more. Oh, as a matter of fact, Palmer hits the wall, so that's going to slow him down just a little bit. And that's going to allow James Head to close right on up. So James Head on an absolute fly mode. He's turned the wick up on his he's absolutely on mad qualifying mode at the moment. So James Head has another fast lap. As a matter of fact, he does a 129.990. So James Head has absolutely clawed his way back up, on board now with the number 7. He is going to be all over the back bumper of this 24, and he's going to do anything in his power to get back up to the championship high. Gets a little sideways into the grass, not much, but it was sideways. Go on board now with SLM Palmer from the back bumper, and you can see how absolutely desperate James Head is going to be within this lap and one more. And so James Head he's not giving Palmer any bit of breathing room whatsoever. Of course, he's going to try and stay as close as he can to Palmer, because he thinks he knows he is a bit prone to mistakes. I'm pretty sure a flick of the lights would throw Palmer a bit off if he can do so. And so coming to the start-finish line now to begin the final lap of this race, to see how this race will come out, because this race result between these two is going to actually matter a lot more than anything else on the racetrack at the moment, because these two are settling it out for a championship at the moment. James Head's going to move over to the left, and he is going to get that 2nd place right across the start-finish straight. TGIS is going to move back up to 4th place from Dirdude, who relegates himself back down to 5th. James Head is going to make the move. He's going to make the move stick. Yes, he does. 2/10 the penalty is for Palmer, so he's going to try and fight it in case James Head makes another mistake. But James Head gets the momentum swinging back in his favor once again. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be absolutely mad qualifying. As a matter of fact, he's purple sectored it. So if he can get another bonus point going his way for fast slab, that would be detrimental for himself as well. He's got to take all the points that he can for this championship charge for the remaining spots of the races, because he's been on an absolute tear the past couple of races. Every single race he's had since Red Bull Ring the first time by, except for that one race at Interlagos where he's disconnected, he's been on an absolute tear at the moment. So has Palmer gone a bit too deep? I'm pretty sure he has. Hairraiser is actually going to just take the checkered flag now instead of going around another lap. And while this battle's going on, we'll turn our eyes once again. It's been at least 15 rounds since we've seen this man come up on the top step up of the podium. But for the first time in a very, very long time, it will be the number 64 of Elliott F64 who will win once again in the Mazda MX5 Cup Championship for the 4th time this season. And James Head, after doing an absolute comeback, will come home for 2nd place. And Palmer, finishing 1 position behind, will get P3. He clears the podium. Oh, it was a drag race across the start-finish line. And it was 13 thousandths of a second separating Dirdude and TGIS. I'm sorry I didn't see that drag race, but that was absolutely crazy between those two. But for the 4th time this season in 15 races, it is Elliott F64 who stands and reigns supreme here at Bloomin' Bay. Oh, and the big lag spike right there. That was a very big knock in the wall for Dirdude. Elliott going backwards. Oh, I love this game at times. So we will invite our podium finishers into the party, of course. And what an ecstatic race that was. Elliott finally got himself the breathing room that he needed to be able to get a nice race win. And it has been a very, very long time coming. It's been all podium central for himself for the most part this race. And so we'll invite him, James Head, and Palmer into the party. And so we will wait for them to join us for what was a very, very exciting set of racing, of course. Of course, like I said, 6 cars. It doesn't sound like a lot, but once you think about it with these cars, it's really, really designed to pull these cars as close as they can. And, of course, there's pretty much just, if you are still right on it, you can really, really put your foot down to the ground and make some work with it. So we do have our podium finishers starting to join us. We'll start off with our man in third place, the championship leader, SLM Palmer. Palmer, you really, really were trying to defend as much as you can from the charging James Head, but of course, unfortunately, you do finish one position behind James Head, but that does mean that the championship lead is now slimmed down slightly. How do you feel about that third place finish?
It's really frustrating, to be honest. That penalty was just utter brutal. Yeah, like I did nothing to get that penalty, to be honest. Like Herazer tapped the back of me, and I managed to get 4-second penalty, and also I think Tice got 5-second penalty as well. I just feel really deflated again, because it was going so well and that, but that one instant just killed most of our races, of course, including hair races, obviously. But yeah, just not very happy, to be honest.
And so, of course, very disappointed. SLM Palmer will have to try and get some more points going his way in the next race, of course, for round number 20. We will move on to James Head now, who I believe is very ecstatic about that second place finish because you get the championship lead just slimmed down a little bit more, and you got about 5 more races to get back in the lead right about now. Of course, that championship lead getting ever and ever thinner as the races go on. Tell us about your second place, James Head.
Absolute disaster of a race from my perspective. With the incident with Herazer, I took way too much speed through the corner, contacted the back of Herazer, he lost control of the car. It is totally my fault, and I totally own up to it. And any penalties that might come my way, I'm more than willing to take as a result. But Jesus, I've had to concentrate there because I'm normally quite a talkative guy in the party, and I know Tyson Palmer can back me up as well. But honestly, I was literally composed. I wanted to try and get ahead of Palmer. That was my main goal this race, and that's what I've done. Hopefully, we can continue that into the second race, and I'm hopefully expecting of a win, even though some lucky sod got the win in this race.
Actually, I unfortunately wasn't able to see the incident, so probably we will save the replay and get some reviewing of that, obviously. But of course, from James Head's perspective, very disastrous, but of course, get something going for the next race. And then finally, we'll move our attention to the man on the prime podium position. It's been a very, very long time coming for you, Elliot. The last win you had in the Mazda MX5 Cup Championship came all the way at round number 4 at Suzuka. So we are on round number 19 right now, and it's been 15 rounds since you've won a race in this championship. How do you feel about your race win, bud?
I'm happy.
Is that it?
No, sorry, no. I don't know how I did that. I came into this with 0 practice. 0. And I just thought after practice, being half a second, or eventually half a second off of James's pace, I thought going into qualifying, not a chance. And then qualifying was iffy. But okay, what did I come away with? 4th in qualifying. So I thought, right, okay, head down. Let's see what happens with the guys in front, because it's Mazdas and it's this circuit, which I was surprised it was on the calendar. It was that. I've come into this race thinking, why is this race on the calendar? Why is this track on the calendar? No practice whatsoever. I joined a lobby, in fact, yesterday with Palmer and TJIS just to get a feel, to see if I can get a feel, but I couldn't get on with it. I was hitting barriers left, right, and centre, and then got into the race. Everything was all kicking off in front, so I thought, right, let's just sit tight. Had a bit of a scrap with the guys, which was absolutely fantastic. That was amazing, going 3 wide into most of the corners. Just head down, saw the incident behind kick off. I saw Herazer sideways before the corner, and then turning left when the corner goes right. So didn't see what happened. All I saw was the aftermath, and then from there on it was just head down whilst they scrapped behind Durdude and James Head. Looked down at the clock, there was 16 minutes left. I thought, right, let's all fly past now. Looked down again, 10 minutes. I thought, okay. Looked down again, 4 minutes. I thought, right, 3 laps to go. Palmer's catching. If the gap comes down below 3 seconds, I know I'm in trouble. And then James caught back up. They started squabbling. So I just ran away with it. I wouldn't say it was lucky, but I wouldn't say it was a skillful drive today. I just thought, I genuinely thought I'd come away with nothing.
So let's just say you were kind of at the right place at the right time. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, and the guys behind were just scrapping behind you too much. We'll put it that way for the time being. So, all right. So, Palmer, James Head, and Elliott, good racing for you guys today. We do have another race to go here for round number 20, and we will get that live stream sorted out. We hope you guys did enjoy this race. I've been the host and commentator for today's race, SLM_RDZ, and we'll get the live stream going for next race real shortly.